Okay, so holding the Pesachim that based on the base, we're starting to based on the base. We left off yesterday the last line that based on Madalef. We're in the middle of talking about what is the definition of Oila Ba'asa. What does it mean when we say Oila Ba'asa, the night of the 14th? So that we know that the Maskana is that we check comments by night on the night of the 14th. But the Gemara doesn't take it so simple, and the Gemara says that there's a machlekes whether Oila Ba'asa means the day by the day of the 14th, or Oila Ba'asa means the night of the 14th. And it depends on what the definition of means. What is the Tana doesn't tell us what means. The Tana just says Oila Ba'asa. So we're trying to figure out what does mean. So you have one opinion that says means day, and the other opinion says means night. So we're bringing different psukim back and forth to explain what is So we're holding the base of the alpha all the way at the bottom. The Gemara says Mesve, second line from the bottom. The Gemara says Mesve. We bring a proof against the shit that says that means night. Mesve, we learned bring a proof of a pasuk in Eiv. Says in pasuk in Eiv, La'er Yakum Ritzeach Yiktal Ani. By the day, a murderer is going to come and murder a poor person. Ani ve'avin of a laila he ganav. By night, he should be counted as a ganav. What does that mean? When the Spirit explains in seconds what that means, but just from the terminology of the pasuk, we see says the Gemara that which it says in the pasuk that by night, balayla is going to be like a ganav alma. So from here we see the first half of the pasuk when it says la'or yakum netzeach. La'or means that by day murder is going to come. Alma from here we see that means day, because if it says by night it's going to be like a ganav, and the first half of the pasuk says he should be like a Ritzach by so that means day, because as opposed to night, the opposition to night is day, and the pasuk uses the terminology of So the Gemara says you can't bring a proof from there, because Hasam over there, Hachikam, it doesn't mean that by day he should be a Ritzach. What does that mean? It means like this. There's a din of the Gemara brings down a lot of times in Sanhedrin, especially of Habab Machteres. It means that if someone is coming into your house and there's a chash that he's going to murder you, then it says if your life is in danger, you have a full heter to kill him, to save your own life. So this is what the pasuk say. If it's clear to you, in your brain that this person is coming to kill you, then you should be counted as a murderer. And if you count as a murderer, you're able to kill him, you're able to save your life by killing him. But if you have sveikas like night, meaning it's not clear to you in your head that he's coming to kill you, then you should be in your eyes like a ganav. And then you don't have any heterim to kill him. You can only kill a murderer, you cannot kill a ganav. The question is, who is a ganav and who is a murderer? So that's what the pasuk is saying. If it's clear to you like day, like in English also you say that. If it's clear like day, it doesn't mean that in your brain it's day. It means that it's clear like day. So then, if it's clear to you in your head like day, that by night, or clear like light, that this person is coming to murder you, then you're able to kill him. And that's what the pasuk is saying. Im ka'or yeh k'ritzeh. If it's by light doesn't mean day. Light means clear. And therefore, you can't bring a proof from there that means day, because there the context of the pasuk is speaking about more of a inner meaning of light. We're not speaking about light as in day. We're speaking about light as in clearness, and that's why you can't bring a proof from there that means day, because over there means clearness. Now the Gemara is bringing another proof against the shit of Yehuda, who says that day means night. That means night. Mesve says in the pasuk in Eiv says like this. Just read the full pasuk. The Gemara doesn't read down the full pasuk. The Gemara says, "Hine halayla ahu." It says in the pasuk in Eiv that it was that night. Eiv is speaking of himself. He's saying that the night he was born on, the stars of the night were thinking. They were expecting light and it wasn't coming. And they're expecting day and it wasn't coming. So from here we see with the Kama, from the Apish Gemara says that the stars were expecting light. What is it? Alma What does it mean? It means that it was the we're holding by night and we're expecting day to come. And the pasuk uses the terminology of So from here we see that means light. Means day, not night. So the Gemara is going to answer that we answered before. Over there, it's not speaking about as in day. It's speaking about a more of an inner meaning. Hassam over there, Meilat hu the kolait lei Iev l'mazla. Iev was cursing his own mazla. Iev was cursing his own spirit. He was saying, Omar, Yehei Ravo, the Litzafe, Hach Gavlo, Nahira, Veloi Lishkeche. He was asking to the Ebershi, Yehi Ratze, that this person, when he's saying about himself, that he should think about day, he should think about light instead of thinking about bad things. So it doesn't mean that light is day. It doesn't mean he's by night and he's thinking about day. It means he's in a bad matzah and he's thinking about a good matzah. So doesn't mean day. Means much more of a broader term, as in light or positivity, something towards those lights. Basically, another proof. Now we're asking another question on the shittu. It says means night. It says in Tilim. We're going to bring a proof. It says in Tilim. It says in Kapitel Kuflam. It says Amar Ach Cheshech Yeshufeni the Laila Erbadi. The pasuk is David HaMelech is saying that David HaMelech is doing tshuva on his averis, and he's saying that he only expects bad things to happen because of his averis. Ach Cheshech Yeshufeni the Laila Erbadi, meaning that first I think the doctor is going to come change me, and even the Laila Erbadi, that the night is going to be the day is going to be the night for me, meaning that he's going to be in a bad situation. From here we see it says V'layla badi. What does Laila means? It means that the night is going to be day. Alma yumami. From here we see it again. The Torah uses the pasuk uses the lashon of to speak about day. The happening was that David was saying that V'layla badeni, that in the end the night is going to turn into day, meaning it's going to be a good matzah. So the pasuk uses the lashon of So again, the Gemara answers Hasam over there. Don't bring a proof from there because hachikam. That's not what the pasuk means to say. David was saying like this. Hachikam David was saying like this. Ani amarti ach cheshech yeshufeini. I first said about myself that I'm only going to have bad days. I'm only going to have bad dark days because la'elam haba shudei malayim. Even in elam haba, I'm going to have a bad time because David was saying in his averis that he did with Bathsheba. So David was saying in his averis that he's going to have a hard time in elam haba. Now that I did tshuva, meaning in this world, which is daima tonight, even Elam Hazeh is turning into Elam Haba, meaning he already felt that since the Eibishter forgave him for his Averis, even the darkness of Elam Hazeh is turning into light. So from here we see that doesn't mean night or day. Means light. So Chesed Laila, the night is turning into light. That's what it means. Means light, and as opposed to day. Okay, so now we're done with asking questions on the shit that says means night. We're going to ask more questions on the shit that says means day. Because we said yesterday, again, there's two opinions. Either means night, either means day. We're almost finished with this discussion. Mason, the Gemara brings a proof from the Mishnah that we're going to say soon in that few on base. The Gemara is going to get a bit sidetracked with the dinim of the Mishnah. So we all know that. So the Mishnah said like this. Rabbi Yehuda says, Beitkin, the Tana says, Beitkin, we check the chametz, Eila ba'asar. The first time we check the chametz is Eila ba'asar. We're going to see what that means in a second. And we also check the chametz of Arba'asar Shachris. And we also check the chametz on the Yud Dal Nisan in the morning. Or Vishas Abir. And we also check the chametz when we burn the chametz. Okay, the Gemara is going to explain exactly what this means, whether we have to check chametz 3 times or only once. We're not getting into that now. The discussion over here is the fact that Rabbi Yehuda said that we check chametz 3 times. Number one, we use the lashon laba, so like in our Mishnah over here, and the second time you dialed in the morning. Now the Mishnah said that we check it on laba, and he also continues in saying uvar ba'asar shachris, and on the 14th in the morning alma uteri. From here we see that means night. Because if means day, what's your Yehuda saying? That we check chametz ba'asar by day and also by the 14th in the morning? It's the same thing. The 14th in the morning is ba'asar. So you have to tell me that means night, meaning Yehuda is saying we check chametz ba'asar by Yud Gimel, the night of Yudal, and we check chametz also in the morning, and also we check chametz when we burn the chametz. This is a good proof, and this is Masechta the Gemara that means night, and therefore that's why we nowadays we do the chametz by night because the chat in the Mishnah is la ba'as in the night of ba'as, and that's the final proof of the Gemara that means night. So now the Gemara is going to go into, even though it's not negate our discussion over here so much, but the Gemara is going to go into the rules of when we have to check chametz. Meisvei, we bring a proof from Rabbi. It says in the Rabbi like this: Masay Abba Asar Asar Masiyas Malacha. We don't know on Erev Pesach. There's an issue to do Malacha on Erev Pesach. Yeah, there's a few days a year that's also do Malacha. Erev Pesach, one of them. When is it also to do Malacha? Lazar ben Yaakov says Mishas ha'or, from the time that it's light. We don't know what that means in a second. We're going to explain what that means. The time that it's light. Potash, what it means is from the night, meaning the night, even the night of Yudam, it's also do Malach. Yehuda argues and says, no, Mishas Netzacham, not from the night, from the Netzacham, from by day. Yaakov asked Yehuda, according to you, how can you tell me that the Issa of doing Malach on Pesach, on Erev Pesach, starts from Netzacham, V'chimatzinu Yom, Shemiktzasa Asa B'asiyas Malacha. Do we ever find in Torah that there's such a example of a day that's us, half of the day is us to do malacha, and the rest of the half of the day is mutter to do malacha, and the rest of the day is us to do malacha? Meaning, when Torah said don't do malacha, Torah never asked. We don't find anywhere in Torah asked it a part of a day. Torah asked it a whole day. So according to you, well, how does it make sense that the issue to start doing malacha starts when it's a chama? According to me, which means by night. So the whole day is us by night and by day. But according to you, by night you have to do malacha, and in the morning, only in the morning it's us to do malacha. Where do we find the entire? Amar Leis, if you want to answer them, who asked me from Erev Pesach? I'll bring a proof that Torah asks half days. Where do we have Erev Pesach? So we're going to see soon that there's an issur to eat chametz. We're going to see that eating the issur of eating chametz doesn't only start by Pesach, by night, and say the night the Issa of eating chametz also starts on Erev Pesach from Chatzos. We're going to speak about it soon. There's a whole page about it. Erev Pesach from Chatzos. So Rabbi is saying, why are you having big questions against me for saying that half a day is mutter, half a day it's aser? Erev Pesach itself, we see Torah aser half a day eating chametz, and the second half of it's for the first half of the day it's mutter to eat chametz, and the second half of the day it's aser to eat chametz. So that's not a problem that the issur of starting to work should start from Netzach Chametz. What do we see from here? Okay, so this is the Mishnah. What do we see from here? The comment of Yehuda, that which Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is Mishas and Netzach Chametz, that the issur to do malacha starts from Netzach Chametz. Alma, from here we see that the opposite opinion, which is that Rabbi Yaakov, Alma the comment of Rabbi Yaakov Urtu. From here we see that the opinion of Rabbi Yaakov is Urta, that it's us do malacha by night, and Rabbi Yaakov used the dogma. Use the terminology of so means night. Again, since Rabbi Yehuda said that is us to do malacha from Netzach Chametz, and Rabbi Yaakov is arguing with it. The problem is Rabbi Yaakov didn't tell us when it's us to do malacha. He just said What does mean? So if you tell me means night, it makes a lot of sense. But Rabbi Yaakov is telling you that from the night of the 14th is us, and Rabbi Yehuda is saying no, not from the night, from Netzach Chametz is us. So this is a proof that means night. So we have another Mishnah that tells us means night. Says the Gemara, don't bring a proof from there. Like, because maybe I could touch over there, it doesn't mean night. My Amud Shachar. It doesn't mean, he didn't mean to say that the Issa to do Malacha starts from night. He meant to say that the Issa to do Malacha starts from Alois Shachar. So from according to this, the argument would be, when is us to do Malacha? Is it by Alois Shachar or it's by Netzach Chametz? We thought the argument was by night. One opinion says by night, the other opinion says by day. We're saying no. Bad side because means by day. Everyone agrees means day. And the argue when in the day does the Issa start? And Rabbi Yaakov says the Issa starts in Alois Shachar, and Rabbi Yehuda says the Issa starts by Netzach Chametz. So according to this, you won't have a proof that means night, because I could say the translation of means day from Amud Shachar. If you're going to tell me the opinion of Rabbi Yaakov means that the Issa starts from Amud Shachar, the question that he asked of Yehuda, the question that he asked, where in the Torah do we find a mitzvah that some of the day it's mutter and some of the day it's us to do malacha? Name he has the same question according to himself. According to the opinion of Lezim Yaakov, that by night it's mutter to malacha, and the Issa only starts by Amud Shacha. Why is he asking questions on the Yehuda? Do we find a place in the Torah that half the day is mutter, half the day it's asa? Even according to you, ask the question on yourself. Because according to you, according to Lezim Yaakov, the Issa malacha starts by night. You're able to do malacha, and this only starts by day in the morning. So do we find a place in Torah that by night it's mutter to do something, and by day it's asa? So why is he asking questions on the Yehuda? He should ask a question on himself. Says the Gemara, no. The question of Lezim Yaakov is a different question. It's like this. According to my shita, I'd say that it starts from that Issa starts from Amud Shachar, Roisa Shachar, Ashkechan I find you can find a few other places in Torah that are banan are mechalek between day and night. Meaning something is us by is mutter by night, and the Issa only starts in the morning. Even though according to Torah by night, the day starts ready by night, but we find that Abana and a few of the Takanas made things by that it's starting to only start by day. How do we know? Where do we see that? The Tana could learn a brisa. Gabi Tana Sibur, any time in Sibur, communal fast day. When does it start? At Masa Echa V'Sheisa, to when can you eat before the fast? Achi Alam Oda Shachar until Alais. Divir Blazim Yakim. Shimon Eimer is another opinion that says Ad Kreza Gevet until the rooster starts croaking, which is even before Amud Shachar. So we see that Rabbanon, according to me, that I say Isurim start from Amud Shachar. We see Rabbanon made the takanas in a way that Isurim. There's a few places we find that Isurim start from Amud Shachar. According to you, that says that it starts from nets. What do we find that in a day itself, Rabbanon should be machalik and say that it should only start from nets? According to me, the day starts. There's two things. There's day and night. Night is mutter. Day is asur. And we find Rabbanon did that a few times, but we don't find anywhere else in Torah that in day itself, Rabbanon should be machalik. Half a day is mutter, half a day is asur. And according to this, what would be the answer? What did Amalei who Amalei? So what did Yehuda answer him? Yehuda answered him, "Who asked me? Look at the day of Pesach, of Erev Pesach itself, would bring you a proof. Why should I make say mutter b'achilas chametz? Half of the day, even past the alais, it's aser is mutter ta'i chametz. Makes aser b'achilas chametz, and the second half of the day is aser ta'i chametz. Now the Gemara asks, "Shapi combination." The Gemara is basically getting lost in this discussion of when it's aser ta'i chametz, even though we brought it as a proof to tell us when is what does mean. But now that we got into this discussion, we're carrying on the discussion. So basically, we have a dialogue between Lezim Yaakov and Yehuda. Lezim Yaakov says, according to this way of learning the Gemara, Lezim Yaakov says that the Issa starts from Amud Shachar. Yehuda says the Issa starts from Chatzos. Lezim Yaakov asks Yehuda, where do we find the Torah that the Issa should start from Netzacham? Sorry, Yehuda says that it starts from Netzacham. So Lezim Yaakov asks Yehuda, where do we see in Torah that Isurim start from Netzacham? And when Yehuda answered him, a good question. A good answer. He told him that Issa of Chametz itself only starts from Chatzos. That's a good proof that Torah asks half days. So it says the Gemara, Shapikam, they asked him a good question. What did you answer him? Shapikam to build the Mishnah doesn't tell us what he answered. But we have to find the answer. He asked him a good question. He gave him a good answer. Why does Lezim Yaakov still argue with Yehuda? So Hachi Ka'amarle. So Lezim Yaakov would answer like this. Amin Allah and Malacha D'Rabban. We're talking about. I asked you a question from Malacha D'Rabban. When do we start Malacha? Malacha is Issa D'Rabban. We're going to see soon. To work in a Pesach is only Issa D'Rabban. That Amar Bichametz with the Raisa, and you're answering me from Issa D'Raisa. Obviously, Torah can do whatever they want. So we see Torah can find in Torah can make half day Asa, half day Mutter. Until Torah could say half a day is Asa and half a day is Mutter. It's a Gzeis HaKasa. There's no reason behind it. But Rabbanan don't make takanas based on the Gzeis HaKasa. A takana that Rabbanan has to be based on the Svarah. So I asked you a question: where do we find that half a day is Asa, half a day is Mutter? You answer me from Chametz. Chametz is the Raisa. That's what they should have signed. That's it. But how can you bring a proof from that to Issa Malacha, which Issa Malacha is based on the Svarah? So what did Yehuda answer to that question? So he told him, Yehuda says, Yehuda could answer, shows the Rabbanon. We're going to speak about it at length. that midiraisa, there's a certain time that you have to stop eating chametz from chatzos. Rabbanon asked it, and that's what we do nowadays. Also, that's what we burn chametz. We don't burn chametz by chatzos. We burn chametz. We stop eating chametz even before chatzos. Rabbanon were meisiv 2 hours even before chatzos. A person should stop eating chametz. So any chametz midiraisa only starts from chatzos, but we see that Rabbanon aser 2 hours before chatzos even to chametz. From here we see that Rabbanon didn't say don't stop eating chametz from the beginning of the day. Rabbanon only made it 2 hours earlier to stop eating chametz. So even in the Surah that Rabbanon, we find that a bit of a day is mutter, and the rest of the day it's asur. And that's the proof. That's my proof. Ve'idach. And what does Rabbi Lezer answer to that? Come back. L'cheira, Rabbi is right. Rabbi says that we find in the Surah that Rabbanon said that chametz should be only asur to eat only from 2 hours before chatzos. Rabbanon didn't say that the whole day is asur. So over there, it's not a takanon that Rabbanon of when things start. When is the asur mulach? Over there, it's archaka. Rabbanon made the siyag. Rabbanon made a boundary that a person, and we're going to see, the Gemara is going to speak soon, that people can make a mistake in the clock, and people won't realize what time is. So Rabbanon just said stop eating before 2 hours before. But over there, it's based on the svarah. That you can make a mistake in the clock. We're going to see soon. But over here, when it comes to working, Issa Malacha, there's no svara. Issa Malacha, we'll learn about it soon. So why Rabbanon B'chalek between only from that? What's connection with that? It should be from Amud Shacha also. Okay, so that's we're done with that discussion. Because now we're going back to the discussion if means day or if means day or means night. So we're done with that discussion. We're going to make carry away with the conversation, and we're going to speak about at length in the future. Amud. Neisve, we're bringing a proof from a brayso against the shit that says means day. It says when they get to Kiddush HaChedesh, right? So we know based on when Mekadosh to Chedesh every single month. How did people know it was Chedesh? Yeah, not everyone didn't have any WhatsApps or anything in those days. So it says basically used to go on the mountains and send shluchim to the mountains. They used to put big torches of fire. And now when people would go on the rooftops and see big torches of fire, they would know it's Chedesh. So the brayso says, Ein masin masuris. We do not light masuris is like we don't light torches on the mountains. Ella achedesh shenira bizman v'kache. Only on a day, only on a month that was mekudesh bizman, meaning the 30th day of the month that was mekudesh. That was the shchedesh. Yeah, because we know that Bezdin sometimes made the shchedesh. Sometimes it wasn't bizman. It wasn't on Chedesh Ibur. If the 30th day was the Chedesh, that's when we go on the meaning if the Eidim came on time, that's when we go on the mountains and we shine the lights. Sorry, yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. We only if Bezdin were Makadosh the month on time, then there's no need to be Masim Masuyis. There's no need to put light the fire. But the Masai Masimos is when do we light the fires? When do we have to let everyone know when is a Chedesh? If it's a regular, something which is not regular, is La'eri Boy. The day of the Ibur, meaning the day of when the second day of the Chedesh. From here we see the fact that Bryce used the Lashon La'er Ibure, which means where we count La'er, Alma Eir Oto, the night of the Ibur. Why? Because if the Brayso was saying La'eri Ibur means the day of the Ibur, meaning the day of Rosh Chodesh, you don't need to light lights on Rosh Chodesh. No one's going to see your lights. So from the fact that the Brayso used the lashon La'eri Ibur, it's telling us Alma Eir Oto. From here we see that Eir means night, but that's the only time to light lights. Shema Mina, and that's a good proof that Eir means night, and that's going to be in Maskana of the Gemara that Eir means night, and that's when we check comments. We check comments on the night of Yudal. One more question on the shita that says that Eir means night. Meisvei, another brayso that says Haya Eimed Kol Halayla Umakrim, says about the kohen that if a kohen was bringing the fats of the kabbanis the whole night, Alam Mizbeach La'ira Ton Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim. If he was up the whole night, he has to wash his hands again in the morning, even though he wasn't Messiah Das and he didn't go to Beis Mikdash. He has to wash his hands in the morning. Divrei Rabbi. This is the words of Rabbi. From here we see the rest. It says la'ira tom kiddush, that by day he has to wash his hands again. And the Brisa uses the terminology of la'ira. From here we see means day, which is against the opinion that says means night. Says the Gemara, Eira Shani. When it's if the Brisa said the word Aleph Vav Reish, so that would be a proof. But Eira with a hey doesn't mean Eira with a hey can mean day. Even Rabbi Yehuda himself, who says the means night, he would say the Eira could be a name for day. But in Amish it says Eira Basa without a hey. So since it says Eira Basa, that's why this dafka means night. And Maskana of the Gemara is that is night. Okay, we're going to stop over here. But Mesve, the next Amud is also going through. If you're going to start off a bit speaking about whether means day or night, and then the Gemara goes into a new discussion. Have a good night.
Yeah.